everyone. Welcome to another episode of Marriage Matters. This is a show where we talk about marriage matters because
marriage matters.
So as you can see, we are here with our good friends Tim and Denetra Smith. My brother from another mother.
Sure enough.
My sister from another mister. And as always, my lovely wife, Tanya.
Hi, guys.
So we just came to hang out with Tim and Denetra today. And so we asked if they would do a little show with us to give you guys
kindly obliged.
Yeah, give you guys some of their awesome marital knowledge, wisdom. You guys been married how long?
How long have you been married, Mr. Denetra?
It's so funny you would ask that question. The year was 1995.
What?
Oh,
That's
wow.
right.
Okay.
Getting ready to be 25 years in a couple of months.
Woo!
25
awesome.
years and
25
4
years.
kids.
4 kids.
And a dog.
And a dog later.
Yeah, right. That's right.
They're still going strong, still happy as ever. So I asked them, really what they wanted to share, and they wanted to talk about responsibility. So I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys just kind of start, and we'll kind of interact, and you jump in.
You're just going to let me start. Okay.
She said you're the man.
So we just want to talk to you guys about responsibility. Everyone falls in love, and you got all the butterflies in your tummy. But then the true responsibility of having to live together and live life together shows up. Then what do you do, right?
Yeah.
And so really, that's what we want to talk about today, that responsibility that comes as you begin to grow together, as you begin to grow your family, you're starting careers.
Right.
When we started off, we both was working full time, so just chores of cooking and cleaning,
Right. Real life.
grocery shopping,
Everyday
all those
real
things.
life.
All those things, you had to work those things out, right? And then when kids show up, it really begins to complicate things even a lot more, right? And so with that, you have to learn how to make adjustments to one another's needs.
Yeah.
And so we still making adjustments, right?
Yeah.
And so, but in saying that, for me, the easy part for me is just feeling and sensing where she is. Now, sometimes I may not get it right. Still working that out. But trying to feel where she is so that I can maybe intervene at times when I know that she's tired or she, right at this moment, she don't work full time anymore. But still, just being at home is a full time thing.
Sure, absolutely.
And there are times where she might not feel like cooking, or she may not feel like helping the kids with the homework, whatever it may be. And so those are the times where, as her partner in life, you have to jump in there and do whatever it takes, right? But not it means going and picking up something if you can't cook, man. But for me, I can actually cook, so
I'm a pick up person. I'll pick it up in a minute. What you want? Where you want?
Exactly.
And now we know with technology, she'll just put an order. She called me Sunday. Hey, I ordered food at Jason's Deli. No problem. I can pick that up.
That's right.
Yeah. But you said something key, Tim. You said the word. I think I love this word. It's called. You said adjustments.
That's right.
Yes.
And I think that's what a lot of times in marriage we don't do. We don't make the adjustments because I said this I think on our last episode that the one constant in life is change.
Yes, that's right.
And the couple that we are today, we're almost 18 years in.
Awesome.
We're trying to catch you guys.
Good luck.
So we're almost 18 years in, but the woman that I married 18 years ago, this is not the same woman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I had to make the adjustments. We had to change. And so, one of the things earlier we were talking to Denetra, you were talking about how, at the wedding, and we say this all the time, we put so much effort into the wedding. We spend all this money, and nothing wrong with that. I told Tanya, said, hey, this is the only time I'm doing this, so you better get everything
you want,
because I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
But we put all this effort into, and you have this idea, you have this image in your mind of what marriage is going to be like.
Right.
And then you get married, you go on the honeymoon,
That's right.
and then you come back home and it's like, holy crap, what do I do
now?
So kind of talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
So backing up, when you come into a marriage, you're coming in with a set of ideals.
Right.
You saw one example of marriage played out in your house. She saw a different one.
Right.
Yeah.
So we will have both two different views of what marriage is supposed to be, or maybe you saw, you know, a marriage on TV that you want to emulate.
Right.
That family, one
Right.
comes to mind, the Cosby Show.
Yeah, we mention it all the time.
That's my show, man.
And so you have what you were brought up with,
Right.
what he was brought up
Right.
with, and this new thing that you're trying to pull together. And sometimes that can cause issues, but that's where the communication comes
Right.
in.
Right.
Where you can talk about, well, what's our stance on chores? Are you a person that feels like the woman is supposed to do it all?
Right.
Are you going to help out? And it was a little bit easier with us because we didn't have children at the beginning. We both were working.
Right.
And so we just split it 50-50. Or if one would do a little bit more, the other one would pick up, you know, somewhere else.
Right.
Which was easier as far as chores is concerned. But
Right.
I guess the communication
Is
part
key. Yeah.
is key.
Yeah.
Because you're coming in with those ideas.
Right. Were there things that you guys, I'm sure there are things that you guys talked about prior to getting married, but were there things once you got married that you had not discussed and they kind of surprised you and you find yourselves having to have some tough conversations after getting married?
You know, for me, it was an easy transition
Okay.
because I never really pretended on who I was.
Right.
So what she got
Yeah.
in the beginning when we was dating is what she got.
So what you see is
Yeah.
what you
when
get.
we
Huh?
got married.
And he, you know, I know who I was marrying.
Right.
You know, I
So
know,
wait
I know
a
who I
minute.
married.
Let me
so-
ask you this. So you knew ahead of time?
I knew.
That this is, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, just like
That-
you said, she's not the same person that she
Yeah.
was 18 years ago.
Yeah. He's still the same?
He is still,
He's still the same.
Yes.
He is still the same person.
Okay.
You know.
And you know, I actually use that. I use who I am and who we are as a couple, really as fuel.
Yeah.
I tell her all the time, I'll text her and say, girl, I hope you tired because you've been running through my mind all day. Because it's like sometimes,
cold.
even
Right.
when life is
It's
happening,
cold, right.
it's cold.
Yeah.
Even when life is happening around you,
Yeah.
you know, I find that it's true that when the Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor, because really, even when life is trying to get you down, sometimes I just think about what God has blessed me with.
That's awesome.
And when I think about what he blessed me with, all of a sudden them same butterflies that I had,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
28
beautiful.
years ago
Yeah.
when I was in high
Yeah.
school
Yeah.
and everything else, those same butterflies begin to rise up and it becomes fuel
Yeah.
for my
Yeah.
day. You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
And
That's
so
awesome.
and so for me to come home and to do the things that we have to do, it's easy.
Yeah.
So living life with her becomes easy for me
Yeah.
because really I roll around and I remember in my mind exactly what God gave to me, right?
Yeah.
And I believe everything that I am is because God put her in my life to help direct some things in my life.
That's
Definitely.
awesome. That's beautiful.
And we were friends first.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that's key too, of being friends, and that way you can continue that
Right,
relationship
right.
of friendship
Right.
Yes.
Within the marriage.
within the marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
key.
You're with your friend.
Yeah,
you know,
that's important.
Somebody
That's really
you want to
important.
be with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really important. So you said you mentioned high school. So did you guys dated in high school?
We did.
You dated in high
Yeah.
school. So you were high school sweethearts
Yes.
and lasted throughout college and then 25 years of marriage down the
25 years
road.
of
Wow,
marriage.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, today it's almost unheard of that
Yeah.
that actually happens. That
Yes.
people actually last in a relationship with one person
Yeah.
Right.
for that amount of time in this generation.
And it's
Yeah.
the friendship key, I think.
Yeah.
Being friends and also not putting unrealistic expectations.
That's good.
You know,
Yeah.
That's
on
good.
each other. So I'm not looking to him to make me happy or be a
Yes.
certain person.
Right.
Because we both had a certain goal of just doing life, you know, with
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
awesome.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Will Smith said that that expectation is the. I'm probably messing this all up, but it's like expectation. Disappointment is bred by expectation,
Yeah.
or something like that. And
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of people go wrong in marriage is unrealistic expectations.
Unrealistic
And
expectations.
a lot of you said it. It's like, okay, we see, because like I said, for me, it was the Huxtables. I mean, I grew up in my home was, I had a father and a mother, but still when I look to them, it's like, man, was the epitome,
Right.
especially for the black family,
That's
the
black
perfect
American.
family.
Right.
That's what we wanted. We wanted the kids, and we wanted the. But what I had to
They're
realize,
educated,
yeah,
and,
all
you
of
know,
that.
many of us-
Family meetings.
Family
yes.
meetings. Oh, my goodness.
Explaining
Yeah.
things to the kids.
Yeah.
But
Incorporate it.
what we don't realize is all that scripted and thought out and planned,
Right.
and it's not reality.
Exactly.
And I think in order for marriage to be successful, we cannot put those unrealistic expectations.
Right.
Whatever those are, we can't put those on our spouse.
Exactly.
We can't expect our spouse. It's like we hold our spouses to such this to reach this standard that, like I said, is unrealistic.
Right.
That's a Hollywood script.
Right.
That woman, that man, is not a reality.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
And so
It's a fantasy.
it's a
Yeah.
fantasy.
It's
Yeah.
a definite family.
Yeah. So I guess so if we talk about unrealistic expectations, how do we, or what do you consider realistic expectations? How do we, or where do we go to get that? How do we establish those realistic expectations within our marriage?
For me, I think you establish it. First of all, you have to, as a man, learn how to be the husband, right? So I think the first thing you have to do is you have to grow in your relationship with God and let God begin to show you how you are to love your wife as Christ loved the church. And I think as you do that, I think it opens up an atmosphere for your wife really to be able to draw into whatever vision God has given you
Yeah.
for that family. And then if you do that and you work on you, because all you can change is you.
That's
So what I've learned now
That's
is
so true.
I'm not trying to change her,
Right.
right? Change me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get me to where I need to be.
Yeah.
And then everything will work out when it comes down to our relationship as one, right? So I work on me. So
Right.
what do you say?
And I work on me.
That's
There
it.
you go.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then you also find examples of people
Yeah.
who are doing life together that you can see some good examples of what
Yeah.
to do and help one another, because you may be strong in one area,
Right.
another couple may be strong in another.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you can use that information, that wisdom from each other to help strengthen your marriage and your family.
So you find another couple
Important.
that you
Very
can
important.
do
Yes.
community with and,
Right.
and have people that can pour into you.
Yeah.
is
That's right.
really
'Cause you
really
can't do it by
important. You can't do it
That's
by
right.
yourself.
You
That's
can
so
read
true.
all the books you want
Yeah.
to read.
Yeah.
Everybody need a support system.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that's what all marriage matters. That's what all this is all
Yeah.
about. And we were talking earlier. Now I kept saying about the word community.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's gonna leave right there. I'm not gonna say the rest, but
Yeah.
but community. And Tanya and I, we 2 weekends ago we went to Jimmy and Karen Evans's
Oh, the marriage
The
seminar.
EXO.
EXO
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah.
And then the weekend before that, we attended another conference in Lake Charles. Shout out to Darius and Monique Charles
Yeah.
with Unity Ministries. We were part of their marriage ministry. It was just so great being a part of that community. And even though we were all from different walks of life, different nationalities, different ethnicities,
Different religious
backgrounds.
Yeah.
We all came together with one goal, and that was to enhance marriage. And like you were saying, there may be some areas that Tanya and I were weak in, where someone else could speak into us.
Yeah.
And one of the great is just examples of here's how we handle this situation, or here's some things that we do to handle that
Right,
situation.
right.
So,
And we may not take it verbatim from what the couple may share, but there may be some nuggets that
Yeah.
we can apply that work for us.
Yeah.
But it's just important to have that support system.
That's
and
right.
when you're going through different seasons and things may be challenging, they may be hard, for you to have a support system there and people that you can go to and just say, hey, this is what's going on. I'm praying about this. I'm trying to figure this out. And God may give them some words of wisdom,
That's
to
right.
share with you, and to people that understand where you are, and that they're not just gonna pull something out the back pocket,
Right,
but
exactly.
they're being led by the Spirit, and they are people of faith. So
And just be willing to help each other too.
yeah,
Yes.
Because nobody's perfect.
Right.
And there shouldn't be any shame
Yes.
No
or
shame.
fear
No shame.
as to what you're dealing with. You know, I've talked to you about different things that we're dealing with. There's no shame because I just
Right.
want what's best for my family.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
So
right.
I want to make sure that I seek out godly counsel and
Right,
advice to
right,
apply
Right.
to the family.
And that's what Marriage Matters is all about. That's why, we feel so called to this, because of the importance of marriage and the
Yes.
importance of family. And it's the foundation of the church. And a
Yes.
lot of what we see in the world is because a lot of homes are out of, they're in chaos or, in disarray, and the foundation isn't there,
Right.
and so to have the opportunity to just do a small piece of what God wants to do in the earth is just why we're responding to this, and one of the reasons why we wanted to kind of pull you guys
Yes.
in, because we've known you for so long and we see the fruits in your family of what God has been doing, in your life, and people need to know it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that goes to another point I just thought about is, we talked about how, like I said, I grew up in a family that had a wife and a husband. My mother and father was there. You guys grew up that way.
Yeah.
So did.
And even back then, we even had, like I said, we had the Cosby Show. We had, what was it, Family Ties?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Family
one of my
Ties.
favorite.
We had Family Matters.
Family Matters.
We had
Yeah.
all these shows that depicted, this is what a family looks like.
Right.
A family consists of a husband, a wife, children, an extended family.
That support.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you look at TV today, or even look at society today,
Right.
there are not a lot of examples.
Right.
Not the model.
Right.
It's not. There's no longer, and so that's why I think it's even more important for, and like you said, Denetra. I'm not saying that nobody's perfect, but those of us that have, we are in this. We're doing this. We're working through this. It's so important for us not to be an island unto ourselves. It's so
Right.
important for us to reach out. So that's one of the things that we've really tried to start, because I'm very, and most people don't believe this about me,
He would be a hermit if
but
he
I'm
was.
very introverted. I don't like to be around a lot of people. I
Me
don't
too, brother.
Tim is just the opposite, Yeah, so like Tim will be a flamingo, right?
Right, right.
He's a flamingo, but I'm not. So, but I know that it's important for me to reach out to, especially younger couples.
Yes.
Who they have no idea of what it means, like you said, Tim, to be a husband. Have no idea what it means to be a wife, because it's never been modeled
Right.
for
Right.
them.
Right.
Exactly.
So I think it's so important for us to do that, to begin to share, and that's what Marriage Matters, like I said, is all about. It's creating that community, creating a safe place
Yeah.
where you can come and say, hey, you know what? Here's what I'm dealing with.
Growing in
And
marriage.
and just
And there's
to be
no
able to grow.
judgment.
No
Like you
judgment.
said, no shame, none of that.
Yes.
You can come and you can share, and you have people that will support you through your process.
That's
We
true.
all have to go through a process.
Everybody goes
You
through the
know.
process.
So yeah.
So if you're watching, you need to find that person or that couple, in your life. If you're single and you're watching, find that person that you can go to and say, you know what, I need help.
Yeah.
And that's something that in today's society we don't like to,
ask for
to
help.
admit. I don't know it all.
Right.
I don't have it all
Right.
together.
Right.
Yes.
I don't have it all together. So, anything else you guys want to? How long have we been going?
1940.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. I have one more thing I want to talk about. Keep this thing rolling. So, we did a teaching in one of our classes. It's called roles, and you guys kind of touched on this a little bit, because traditionally, you have these quote unquote traditional roles.
Correct.
In marriage. How did you guys navigate through that? Is that something that you discussed and talked about before you got married, or was it one of those things that, once you got married, you had to find out, who's gonna do the cooking, who's gonna do the cleaning, who's gonna, does that all go to Denetra because she's the woman, and Tim, you just go out and make and bring home the bacon, and Denetra stays home and raise the kids, or how does that work for you guys, and how did you work through that process?
So for us, it was a little easy to work through because we, like I said earlier, we both had graduated in engineering. We both was going out into the work field, so we both was in careers. So we drove to work together. We came home together. So everything became kind of a shared group effort, right?
Right.
So we cooked together. Certain things that she cooked better than me. Certain things I cooked better than her. So if we were eating a certain dish and I was the better cook at it, then I cooked. I mean, we both got home at the same time.
Right.
We both. So it was no animosity one way or the other on how we're going to do it. Now, once we started having the kids, you know, God blessed us so that she can actually stay home with the kids.
Awesome.
So then the roles did shift
Yeah.
at that point
Yeah.
because obviously she was home.
Right.
So when I came home, most of the time, there was already something cooked or
Right.
so forth. But then I would take on the role of cooking on the weekends if I
Yeah.
was home and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's still shared
Shared
in
that
that.
responsibility.
So it just kind of, because we were just willing to be one,
That's
we
good.
just kind of, it worked itself out.
That's
you know what I
good.
mean? With no
We didn't
issues.
plan it.
No,
Yeah.
we didn't have to plan it. It just
Yeah.
worked out.
I
Same thing with
love-
our finances, everything.
Yeah.
It all just
worked out.
worked together because
Yeah.
we were wanting to be one.
Yeah.
Right? And so I
Yeah.
think if you want to be one,
That's good.
then if you want to be one, then you will merge together.
Yeah.
And those things won't be difficult. It
Yeah.
won't be
Okay.
tasks. It'll
Yeah.
just be sharing life together.
That's good. You said
That's so good.
you want it to be one.
Yeah.
Right.
And so whatever you do, so it first starts with the desire,
Yeah.
That's right.
you know, and I like to say it, this is the phrase I always use, the desire to die to self.
Yes.
That to understand in marriage, it's not about me, and it's not about what I can get out of this or what my wife can do for me, but it's a mutual
That's
Right.
right.
agreement. You're gonna say
Right.
something. I think
No,
cut
I
you
was
off.
gonna say that I love that, Tim, that you said that we were willing to be one, because
Right.
a lot of times people have a hard time in marriage because they're having a hard time making the adjustments. They're not willing to make those
Exactly.
adjustments that you need to make in marriage, because we are individual people coming into the union of marriage, and we have to make a decision to be one. In the spirit, when we say I do, we become one. But it's a process for this flesh to line
Merge.
up and merge together to become one.
And
So
then
go ahead.
But I want to say this too. He did not come into the marriage saying, "This is what you're going to do."
Yeah.
My dad didn't do this. I'm
Right.
not going to do this. Because had he come with that attitude, it probably
It
would
would've
have
been-
worked
it'd have
out.
been different.
Right.
Okay, because in my
Right.
home, my mama did everything,
Uh-huh.
and she worked full time.
Wow.
So she would cook. When the food was done, she would give us the food, or she would bring it to my daddy. When he finished, he called one of us to pick up his plate. He didn't cook, he didn't clean, he didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And so, but when we got married, I guess, I don't know, I know I did not want to be the sole keeper of everything. 'cause
Right.
it's a lot.
Right.
And I think had he tried to
He
exercise
laughs.
power, you know, say here's what you're going
Right,
to do,
right.
then it probably wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah.
It probably
Yeah.
would.
You know,
It wouldn't have
so
been so easy, huh,
it would
Tim?
not
I
have
could have
been
done it
easy.
though, you know.
I believe you could have pulled it off because I know Tim Smith. I know Tim Smith, the cat eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pretty
I
cat-eyed
don't know.
Tim.
Pretty cat-eyed Tim.
Cat-eyed
You know,
Tim.
you learn very quickly that if you know, you talk about marriage being give and take, right? If she's tired and burned out all the time and everything else, then there's no time for any other activities. either,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No other activity.
No other activities. So you figured I better jump in here.
You know, I don't need a dozen roses, but
Right.
I do need
Come
floors
on.
mopped,
Come on.
dishes
Yeah.
washed
Yes.
and picked up, put the kids to bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's roses
I'll take
and
the
chocolates.
roses, it's fine, but that help is, oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
That's a
when-
blessing in
when,
disguise.
when Pastor gonna come to you and say, "Hey, you know what? I want you to go in there and just soak. I got this. When you
Yes.
got the tub, the food
Yes.
gonna be done. You know, the kids gonna be ready for bed.
I don't know about the
Pick
food.
the food,
You know,
pick it
I'll
up.
pick the food
Yeah.
up.
Pick the food
But
up.
you don't want me.
He's not.
I-
now he is not the cook, but he can clean a house, baby. He
I
can
can
clean
do
the
that. That's what I'm
house.
talking about, yeah.
He will wash. He will iron. He'll do all that good
That's
stuff.
awesome.
But yeah, so
But-
I'll take that.
But and again, you know, talking about those roles, that's one of the things, you know, we have to really adjust because my dad was the same way. I mean, I don't think I've ever saw my dad wash clothes.
No.
Now I will say he did cook. I've seen him. He could make a gumbo, man.
Okay.
But the thing, he would never clean the kitchen after he cooked. So that's something, going into marriage, I knew that I had to make those adjustments because those back it's different times.
Right.
Yes.
It was different times,
Right.
and now I know you were saying you guys both work down. I know Tanya's working, so it's just different times, and it's about mutual honor, mutual respect.
That's
Yes.
good.
To get everything
That's
going.
right.
So
Yeah.
so I think that's all we got for you guys today. We want to thank you guys so much for all your support,
Yes,
all of
thank
the
you
shares,
so much.
all of the likes. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. Instagram Marriage Matters 0526. And we got some other things coming up that we're going to be sharing with you guys. But thanks
Also,
for
follow the
joining us.
YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all of that.
Thumbs up.
Yes.
And again, we want to thank our really good friend, our brother and sister.
Yes, absolutely.
Really,
Yes.
Tim and Denetra for first of all inviting us over, and Tim doing all this good cooking.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's
Up
slaving.
all night, man.
The grease is still hot over there.
Doing all this good cooking, and just inviting us into their home. So we're gonna have him back on the show another time, and we just enjoy being with him. So that's all we have for you guys. We'll see you next week, and remember,
See you next time.
marriage matters.